All right, welcome to our first lesson. This is chapter 1, section 1. We're going to be talking about PEMDAS. So this is chapter 1, section 1, so we'll call it 1.1. All right, so we start out here with absolute value. We're not going to really talk about absolute value a whole lot, but we'll touch on it real quick. The absolute value is actually the distance. The distance from 0 on a number line. So what that means is if you have a number line, so for example, here's 0, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So here's our number line. The distance from 0 just means, okay, how many units away is 2? 1, 2. How many units away is -3? 1, 2, 3. So the distance is always positive, okay? So an absolute value is a distance which is always positive. So, for example, we're not going to do all these, but we have number 1, -13, absolute value is just 13 because it's 13 units away from 0. 21 is just 21. Okay, so when we look at this one, if you want to take it one thing at a time, you got -3 is 3 plus -5 is 5 if it's an absolute value, and then you just do the math. 3 plus 5 is 8. Okay, and so if you have something like number 9 where it's all in the absolute value, you got to go ahead and take care of the math inside, which is something we're going to talk about here in a second. But 15 minus 23 is going to be -8. If you need to use your calculator for that, you can do that. But do that math first, and then the absolute value for -8 is 8. Okay, so that's absolute value. We're just, again, we don't need to delve into that too much more, but that's that. Okay, so what we are delving into is order of operations, or in other words, PEMDAS. PEMDAS. Okay, the order of operations, we use that when we're simplifying. So we're simplifying an expression. So an expression is just like a bunch of operations, like plus, minus, stuff like that. Okay, so we're simplifying an expression, using a specific order. And the reason we use a specific order is because it's the correct order. You can't get the right answer a lot of the time if you use the wrong order, okay? So our first is P, and P stands for parentheses. So whatever's inside parentheses, take care of that first, okay? Parentheses or any grouping symbols. So for instance, just what we did up top, a grouping symbol could be an absolute value, like number 6, okay? So take care of parentheses first, and then after P is E. Okay, E stands for exponent. Okay, exponents. And eventually we'll realize that exponents also includes square roots or radicals. Okay, square roots or radicals. Alrighty. And next we have M and D. Okay. Now, multiplication, just because it says MD doesn't mean multiplication has to be first. Okay. Whatever comes first in the problem is what you take care of. So multiplication, or multiply, and divide. Okay. And that's always from left to right, just like we read. You always go from left to right. All right. And then our last one, we always wrap up with A and S, add and subtract. That is not a very good ampersand. Let's try that again. Add and subtract. Again, left to right. All right, so parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, and add, subtract. So let's go ahead and try some examples here. Okay, so number 13, you're looking at this, look at our operations. We've got addition, we've got division, we've got multiplication. Okay, so this one's a little weird because really we want to make sure to save the addition for last. Okay, but we've got division and we got multiplication. Again, left to right means we're going to take care of that first. So it's 7 plus 54 divided by 3 is, well, 18, I believe. But let's check our calculator. Got my calculator handy. 54 divided by 3 equals, what happened? Oh, there it is. 54 divided by 3 equals 18 on the left side there. So, and then we still have the 2. So I took care of that first. Now we're going right here, multiplication. So 7 plus, that didn't change, 18 times 2 is, check your calculator, 36. And now we finish it out, 7 plus 36 is 43. So again, I'm just going one step at a time. Okay, so parentheses, first, there are none. So now I look at exponents. Okay, 2 to the 5th power. So 17 minus 2 to the 5th power. So in my calculator, I'm going 2 to the 5th. And it's, you can see on the right, bottom right hand side, that's 32. So 32, and then everything else stays the same. So exponents, now I'm done. Multiplication and division, I've got this right here. And notice I am including the negative sign with the 32. So it's 17, negative 32 divided by 4 is negative, negative divided by positive, 8, and then plus 6. Now left to right, I'm going 17 minus 8 is 9. Keep the plus 6, and then 9 plus 6 is 15. Okay. So, got that under control. Let's go ahead and take this last one out. 16, we're going to skip 15. So first up, I'm going to change colors here. First up is parentheses. So inside the parentheses is the exponent. So it's going to be 7 minus 4, 2 squared is 4, plus 17, all of that over negative 14, plus 2 times 5. Okay, so now I've got parentheses still, so 7 minus 4 is 3, plus, I'm going to keep the parentheses there just to make sure we know what that is. I'm going to change colors too. So 3 plus 17 on top, negative 14 plus 2 times 5. Now, this is a special case. If you have a top part and a bottom part, we want to take care of those separately. So I'm going to take care of the top. 3 plus 17 is 20. And then I'm going to take care of the bottom, but again, you got to go in the right order. So negative 14 plus, we've got multiplication. That's 2 times 5 is 10. Now we take care of the rest. So 20 stays the same. Negative 14 plus 10 is negative 4. And now we go ahead and divide. 20 divided by negative 4 is negative 5. And we're done. Okay, so that's PEMDAS for you. Okay. If we're going to go ahead and go to the back side now, which is another set of notes over evaluating expressions. Okay, so evaluate expressions. Algebraic expression is when we're substituting a mathematical phrase made up of numbers and variables. So an algebraic expression is a math phrase. Oops, hold on. A math phrase. So it's a set of a bunch of things, phrase, and it's made up of numbers. I can't write. Numbers and variables. Remember, variables are letters like X, Y, A, B, things like that. Okay? So when we're evaluating an expression, we have to use the substitution property. What that means is if I have A equals B, so if I know that, for instance, X equals 2 or 3 equals A or whatever it might be, A equals B, then I can substitute. So A can substitute for B. And that's all I'm doing. I'm replacing it. Okay? I'm replacing it. So, to evaluate an expression with a variable replacements, we gotta first substitute. Substitute the variables with their given values. And I would always use parentheses just to make sure. That's up to you. Each time you substitute a variable with a number, put parentheses around it. So I didn't really have to write that over there, turns out. And then follow the order of operations, okay? But I'm just gonna write PEMDAS. Follow that order. Follow the PEMDAS to evaluate, okay? So in our first example here, I've got A, B, and C. So for A, I've got 2. B squared, I've got 4. And then plus C is 7. And then I just use PEMDAS. So again, parentheses, I don't have any parentheses. Technically I do, but there's nothing going on inside the parentheses. So first up is exponents. So 2 times 4 squared, 4 times 4, use your calculator if you need to, 16 plus 7. 2 times 16, multiplication and division is next. That's 32 plus 7. You can keep the parentheses, you don't really have to though. And now 32 plus 7 is 39. And we're done. Okay. So same thing over here. But it's only one letter. So instead of 3x squared, it's 3 parentheses squared minus 4 times parentheses. So for x, I'm putting in -2. Okay, so again, exponent first, right here, 3 times -2 squared. This is one where calculator comes in handy because if you don't use your parentheses, you're going to get it wrong. Okay, so -2 parentheses squared, and I get 4. You can see on the bottom right hand side. +4 minus 4 times -2. So now, multiplication left to right. I've got 3 times 4 is 12. -4 times -2. Again, remember to keep the sign. Negative times negative is +8. And 12 plus 8, is 20. And we're done. Okay? So let's do just a couple more examples, and then I'll give you some time to work on some stuff of your own. All right? That's kind of weird. These are all the same. Oh, they're just different numbers, I see. Okay, so let's just do the left side. We won't get into fractions right now. So A squared times b minus b squared. So you got to make sure to keep it straight where everything is. So a squared is 3, so just that, and then negative 4 for all the b spots. Okay, so first up, we've got exponent. No parentheses again. Exponents first, so 3 squared is 9. I've got negative 4 still, minus negative 4 squared. Again, use your calculator, but if you don't use parentheses, you might get it wrong. So that's going to be negative 4 in parentheses squared, and that's positive 16. And so we've got negative 36 minus 16. And then this is where, again, the calculator is going to help you. Just make sure we're getting all the signs straight. So negative 36 minus 16, and we get negative 52. Since it's a negative minus something, they're the same sign, so you add them, okay? And so the last one we'll look at here, we've got y and x being replaced. So negative parentheses, notice my negative was not in the parentheses. That's squared minus 3 times x times y. So let's replace those things. So you got a y is 2, so that goes there and there. Negative 4 is x. Now let's go. So negative stays there. 2 squared is 4. Good. And then multiplication. We can honestly do all this at the same time, but make sure you've got your sign there. So negative times negative is positive. Then 3 times 4 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. So this negative now can go ahead and be put with the 4. And now we go ahead and finish it. Negative 4 plus 24 is positive 20. And we're done.